Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Monday, August 31st, 2016.
Commissioner Repenning, Davis, and Jacinto are present. Vice President Repenning, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Neil Drucker, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Chris Enriquez, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Tim Tyson, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Khalil Garios, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Vice President Repenning, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We do have a commentary card for the neighborhood councils, which was submitted to your chair. And we also do not have any speaker cards on any of the regular items.
Okay, let's go ahead and close general public comment. And I'd like to call under neighborhood council commentary, William Morrison.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Madam President, actually, I'm William Morrison, William Rodriguez Morrison, and I am your budget rep for Region 8. And actually, I am part of Public Works, and some of the things we're working on is more accountability with street maintenance and other things, other issues. Tree trimming, of course, the issue right now, I have to go to City Council on the other side because there was some things that we recommended letters for the Rams to pay for security. That has not went through yet, and there's some other issues with the ports that I've recommended too, and other issues. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody. Unfortunately, I don't have my cards yet, but I can give you my updated cards with all the information is all correct on that too as well already. I thank you very much, and once again, feel free to call me anytime. Mr. Davis knows I stay up till like 3 in the morning, so you can always call me up really late. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. We'll go ahead and close neighborhood council commentary, and that'll take us to our first item of business, the approval of the minutes for the meeting of Friday, August 12th, 2016. I hear a motion from Commissioner Davis.
Is there a second?
Seconded by Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you.
Friday, August 12th.
This is for the minutes for Friday, August 12th, 2016.
Is that a second? Okay, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Those minutes have been approved. Our first item on the regular agenda is item number 1, receipt of bids for LAFD Van Nuys Fire Station number 39. Mr. Campos?
Thank you, Ms. Vice President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. The bids to be received today, August 31st, 2016, is from Council. It's in Council District number 6. It's for the Los Angeles Fire Department, Van Nuys Fire Station number 39. This is a rebid, and the city has estimated the project to be at $14,092,100. Again, this is in Council District number 6. The first bid received for this project is from Walsh Construction Company for a total bid amount of $13,424,000 even. That's 13424,000 from Walsh Construction Company. The second and final bid for this project is from Pinner Construction Company Incorporated, that's PINNIER, for a total bid amount of $13,736,999 even. That's 13736,999 from Pinner Construction Company Incorporated. Vice President Repenning, that concludes the bid openings for today.
Thank you, Mr. Executive Officer. That takes us to agenda item number 2. Council District.
Vice President Repenning, I do need a motion and a second mover to accept the bids.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to receive the bids? Moved by Commissioner Davis and Jacinto.
Moved by Davis and seconded by Jacinto.
By Jacinto.
Thank you. Any objections?
We'll
Thank you.
move this item forthwith.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to agenda item number 2, Council District 13, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue change order number 43 to Bernard's Brothers Incorporated for a not-to-exceed amount of $250,000 for the new Northeast Area Police Station project for the construction modification to the bioswale planter details as revised by the architectural engineering consultant and reflected on bulletin number 14, dated April 12th, 2016. Ms. Iwana June from the Bureau of Engineering. Hi, Ms. June.
Good morning, Ms. Vice President, Commissioners.
Iwana, if I
Bureau
can
heads.
interrupt you, can you just raise the mic just a little bit
I'm
so that we
sorry.
can hear you perfect? Thank you.
It's my first, sorry.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Vice President, Commissioners, Bureau Heads, Mr. Jordan and Mr. Campos. I would like to start by stating my name is Ioana Jun, and I'm the project manager for Northeast Police Station project. The city engineer is asking for your approval for this change order in the amount of up to $250,000 that's going to be issued to Bernard's Brothers, the contractor on the project. And this is for the new Northeast Police Station project regarding the construction of the revised bioswale planters. This project, the new Northeast Police Station project, actually includes the construction of 56,000 square feet of a very modern police station. Also, the partial demolition of the existing building, remodeling of the remaining of the building, construction of open parking areas, and 2 bioswale planters. One is above ground on the southeast, and in-ground bioswale planter on southwest. Addition to the property line of a neighboring driveway. The bioswale planters actually activity is on the critical path, so any delay to this activity would trigger claims from the contractor for delay impact. These planters, the plans provided for the planters actually construction lacked a lot of information regarding the ground levels and also details of how to construct the bioswale planters. The contractor issued an RFI asking for directions and how to clarify how he's going to construct these bioplanters. So the consultant provided revised plans and details, and they detailed how to provide the shoring to protect the neighboring driveway, and also how to construct the retaining walls at a level of, at a depth of more than 5 foot of the bioswale, in the ground actually bioswale. Also, I would like to add this change order is addressing from the consultant side, they increased the surface of these bioswales. So as a result, we increased the length of the walls. So this is pretty much outline of the change order changes included in.
Thank you, Ms. June. So as I understand it, the reason for the change order is primarily due to the stormwater feature of the project.
Right.
There was a lack of understanding
Exactly.
about what it would take to actually build it out.
There were errors and omissions on the plans, yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners?
Yeah, I wanted to just ask a general question. I understand the need and the urgency of us moving forward with support for this particular item. But I had just a general question. This is a Prop Q funded project, correct?
Correct.
Do you happen to know where we are in terms of the expenditures for Prop Q? Is this our last Prop Q project, or do we have other Prop Q projects on the table? I know it's not directly related to your presentation.
I know for sure we have other Prop Q projects going
we do
on.
still have some currently
Yes.
out.
Morning, Commissioner. My name is Alan Kawaguchi. I'm the program manager. There are 2 remaining projects in Prop Q that are being funded. One is the Police Academy, which we're finishing up right now. We just moved LAPD back into the administration building, and LAPRAC, which is the Los Angeles Gun and Revolver Club, has just moved in as well.
Okay, now this is the project that we construct new police facilities on one hand, and on the other hand, we replenish or renovate fire stations as well. Is that pretty
The Prop Q bond program was a public safety program, so it had it's a $600 million bond. Some of it was to build new police stations, and it had about $100 million to renovate not only police stations but fire stations as well.
Okay.
And we're just getting ready to wrap up. Everything on the Prop Q bond should be completed by June of 2017.
2017. Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know.
Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you, Vice President Repenning. You're doing a great job. Thank you for the report. I just had a couple of questions. One, it mentions that the construction documents did not show the needed details for the contract, and I think just wanted to learn a little bit more about why they weren't included, the details.
They had some details, but there were a lot of conflicts. So what's happening, architectural plans, some of them that were addressing the bioswale and also civil and structural mainly, there were conflicts. And what happened actually when the contractors issued the RFI and asking for clarification what to do and what guidelines to follow, they revised the plans providing accordingly for the situation of the driveway and the levels of the ground. Actually, they provided new details and revised the previous detail that was not properly.
Understood. And then there was a mention of a consultant who responded to the RFI. Was that a consultant that we have on call that was helping us manage this project?
Is the same consultant that designed the project.
Yes. Okay, the design consultant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion on agenda item number 2? Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objections to sending this item forthwith? Okay. Approved, and the item will be sent forthwith. Agenda item number 3.
Thank you.
Recommending that the board, number 1, approve the waiver from the Mayor's Office of the Business Inclusion Program outreach requirement. Number 2, authorize the city engineer to advertise and distribute the request for qualifications to prospective contractors for the purpose of establishing a rotating on-call list of contractors for emergency repair services and construction of urgent necessity projects at the city's wastewater treatment plants and other wastewater facilities. Number 3, approve control procedures for the on-call list to allow projects with an estimated cost up to $100,000 to be awarded by the city engineer with prior approval of the Project Review Committee. Projects with an estimated cost in excess of $100,000 will require approval of the board prior to award of the work. And number 4, authorize staff from the Bureau of Engineering and Bureau of Contract Administration to evaluate and qualify the respondents based on the requirements set forth in the RFQ and report back to the board with a recommended short list of qualified contractors. Mr. Kenny from the Bureau of Engineering on agenda item number 3.
Good morning, Commissioner Repenning, board members, and staff. My name is Sean Kenny. I am the construction manager for the Bureau's Environmental Engineering Division, and I'm here with Rick Andelin, my staff. Together we manage this contract for the Bureau of Engineering. It's a contract that deals with urgent necessity projects that come up occasionally in our wastewater program. We've maintained this contract for 20 years now and periodically need to renew it. So today I'm here to request the issuance of an RFQ to establish a new list of approved general contractors that will be screened, evaluated, and selected to when these contractors are selected, they maintain bonds and insurance that allow them to immediately begin construction work as needed. We currently have 7 general contractors. The contract we have now has been extended once. It's now wrapping up an 8-year term, and we've done 9 projects with a budget of about $12 million. It's not a lot for us, but recently we've been having to use this contract a little more, and it's a very important tool for us. It allows us to again, we can respond with every contractor if needed. If there's a really serious emergency, we're available to do that. They are typically contractors doing work for us elsewhere in the city, so they're familiar with us, and vice versa. We will receive qualifications, evaluate them, and come back to you with a recommendation to create this new list.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you. Sean, hi. The couple things going, there's a transmittal from the mayor's office waiving the BIP, the Business Inclusion Program. So that's one of the features that we need in order to move forward to manage the program expeditiously, right, in terms of the specialized nature of the wastewater. The second is we're going to put this out to bid. So do we expect 7 contractors, or do we have 7 contractors now?
We're hoping to get 10 contractors, but 7 has been a good number for us. We've gotten through the list about 1.5 times.
So over the course of the period, last 5 years, all the 7 contractors have gotten work from us?
Yes.
And we just go rotate?
Yes, it's a rotating.
Top of the list?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sean.
Do I hear a motion on agenda item number 3? Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objections to sending agenda item number 3 forthwith? Thank you. The agenda item is approved and will move forthwith.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Kenny. Agenda item number 4, recommending the board authorize an increase in the cost ceiling from $20 million to $25 million with no change to other terms and conditions of the existing contract in connection with the Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation for Sewers 5 project. From the Bureau of Engineering, Mr. Ventura.
My name is Salim Garawi. I'm actually not David Ventura. I'm the new project manager for the Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation of Sewers 5 contract.
I apologize. What's your name again, sir?
Salim Garawi.
Thank you, Mr. Grami.
So the Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation of Sewers 5 contract, also known as Sewers 5, is the contract that in question here, and the request before you is to increase the cost ceiling of the contract from $20 million to $25 million. Sewers 5, Sewers 5 contract, like other sewers contract, is to repair sewer lines as identified by the Bureau of Sanitation. The expedited services is necessary to provide uninterrupted services, reduce the potential spills of sewer, protect public and private properties, and ensure public health and safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Could you refresh my memory in terms of our operation with the sewer program? Is this is a pre-qualified list? How does that work? I know we're increasing it and we have a need to do so. To $25 million, I'm always looking at how, in fact, we are able to expand for business inclusion, if in fact at all possible. But could you refresh my memory on how we move forward on sewer programs? Is it a pre-qualified list?
It's a unit price contract, and it's pre-qualified, where 3 contracts will be selected to perform the work, and based on unit prices submitted by the 3 selected contractors, we assess the repair cost and award the construction contract to the lowest bidder.
Okay, and so usually those individuals who get the bid, they don't subcontract in return after getting the bid in these cases, or is the work so small in scope that pretty much they do the work directly?
Correct.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So moved.
Commissioner Davis has made a motion on this item, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objections to sending this item forthwith? Okay, approved. Agenda item number 4 will be sent forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Garami.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5, oral reports on the status of consultant contracts. We'll go ahead and start with Sherry Kuroki from the Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Rep, City Attorney, Executive Officer. My name is Sherry Kuroki. I'm with the Bureau of Sanitation. We have 5 contracts expiring within the next 120 days. All 5 of them will be renewed. They're contracts that you've actually heard several times in past reports, so I'll briefly just go over which ones they are. The first one is with Conejo Crest Landscape for the Japanese garden, and the sanitation will be exercising a renewal option contained in the contract. The next one, Big Belly Solar, we're amending that contract to exercise a renewal option and increase the cost ceiling. Pacific Sewer Maintenance and Root Tamers, that's for sewer root control treatment, and we're also amending that contract to increase the term and cost ceiling. The fourth one is West Coast Rendering. That's for dead animal processing and recovery services. We'll be exercising a 3-year renewal option contained in that contract. And finally, Rarig Pacific Company will be amending that contract to increase the contract term and the cost ceiling. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you. Sherry, thanks for the report. I was out at the Japanese garden yesterday and understand that we're going to be exercising our 1-year extension. We're going to go out, we're going to issue an RFP for another contract period, correct?
Correct, yes. The RFP is actually currently being drafted by the project manager. For the Japanese, it'll be for the Japanese garden as well as landscape services at other sanitation facilities. So the RFP will be expanded a little bit.
Very good. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
Sherry, I wanted to find out, based upon these contracts, what role did we play in making contact with BAVN in this process in terms of the contracts for personal services here? Did we use BAVN as a resource on some of our contracting for personal services selection? Do you know?
I mean, actually, selection itself. I mean, because the RFPs are already posted on BAVN, and now we do and now the TOSs for the on-call contracts are posted on BAVN as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Ms. Kuroki. Moving on to the Bureau of Engineering, Neil Drucker.
Good morning again, Neil Drucker, Bureau of Engineering. The Bureau of Engineering currently has 15 consulting contracts which will be expiring within the next 120 days. I do have some extra copies. Again, we have 15 consulting contracts which will expire within the next 120 days. The first is with Swinnerton Management and Consulting, Inc., and that's for our Proposition F Public Safety Bond Animal Shelter Program. That consulting contract is currently in the process of being amended to extend it for 5 years to September of 2021, so you'll see that shortly as a board report. The other 14 contracts are all with our landscape architectural firms for our various municipal facilities projects, both municipal facilities, rec and parks, as well as municipal facilities, public works. And all of those contracts are also in the process of being amended to August 2021. And so again, for a 5-year period, and those amendments are in progress right now. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes. So in terms of personal services contracts, we use the BAVN process for posting as well?
That's correct. These were all originally posted under BAVN, and any new RFPs under this are posted under BAVN now as well under our new process. In the past, we had actually not used BAVN to do the individual projects, what we call task orders, but now based on your board's direction, all task orders will be processed under BAVN for any future work under these contracts.
Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you. Neil, thanks for the report. The contracts that we're going to extend for 5 years,
that's correct,
which is a significant period. The rationale, can you brief
Sure,
us in on the
yeah.
rationale?
If you notice, about half of these, so there's 14 on the consultant list, starting with the landscape architects. There's 14 on the list, and to date, we've only been able to use 7 of them. And for the most part, except for maybe 2, all of them have been in around the $100,000 range. And we believe that going through a whole new process to bring another group of consultants on would not result in significant number of additional consultants. Generally, these same consultants are the ones who propose on all of our projects, and therefore we thought it fair to continue it, and then hopefully we can extend to the next 7 and get everyone some work over the next 5 years.
Thank you. That makes sense in terms of having a list.
Yeah, and just to continue on the first one, the animal shelters, that we have an existing PMCM firm that's been doing a good job, and we feel it reasonable to continue them through the end of the process. There's not that many projects remaining, and therefore we want to keep the same firm. They've been doing a good job for us. They understand the program, and to switch ships in mid-travel is pretty tough.
Okay, thanks, Neil, for that rationale.
Just a question, Neil, about the landscape architectural list, which it seems we don't use very often. Is there any benefit to, I guess I'm wondering the pros and the cons of having a separate list as opposed to having a general architectural list that these groups come in and sub under?
Yeah, one is the fact that this allows these firms to act as primes, and excuse me, many of them are large enough firms that they have that capability to act as a prime, where if they were going under our full architectural list, they would generally, as you said, act as a sub, so they don't have that opportunity. The second thing is a cost factor. We believe by going through the landscape architectural firms, which are specialists and have folks on staff that really understand landscape architecture, that we get a cost savings, where when we put them under a full service list, in many cases, what's happening is we would hire the architectural firm, they would turn around and hire the landscape architectural firm as a sub, and we pay a pass-through fee to a group that's doing most of the work. The sub would be doing the vast majority of the design work rather than the prime, and in that case, all the prime would be doing for the most part is handling the paperwork, yet we would be in effect paying them for that process.
Right. I mean, I think it's a good thing, and it makes a lot of sense. I know that there have been, some frustrations that, some of the firms aren't getting work just because we don't really have enough of the specifically landscape architectural work to make sure everybody's getting something. So I guess it's a trade-off.
Exactly, and hopefully over the next 5 years, we will continue to have landscape work. Obviously we work directly with the Department of Recreation and Parks, where most of our landscape architectural work comes from, but also with some of the other city departments. And whenever we do have a project that we can bring to this list rather than bringing it to the full list, we try and do that.
Okay, great. Anything further? Thank you, Mr. Drucker. Moving on to the Bureau of Contract Administration, Yvette Matadayan. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's
Probably.
Madatian.
Madatian, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners and executive staff. My name is Yvette Madatian, and I'm with the Office of Wage Standards, Bureau of Contract Administration. On May 6th of 2016, your board adopted and executed the contracts with the 12 consultants on our pre-qualified on-call list for various wage standards, enforcement and implementation projects. So these are new contracts and none are due to expire at this time. I'll just want to give you a brief overview of what we've done so far. Our first two task order solicitations were issued on June 9th, 2016, and completion date for those tasks was July 31st, 2016. This was a successful campaign. We don't have our final numbers yet, but we were able to reach out to over 30,000 businesses that represent different ethnic and immigrant communities of the city of Los Angeles and educate them about the city's minimum wage and sick time benefits requirements. Moving forward, we're keeping our focus on employer outreach. We have issued 2 new task order solicitations, and this was done through Bovin. The first task is to conduct door-to-door outreach to the city's employers. This outreach shall target a variety of geographic areas or areas with concentrations of industry with high risk for noncompliance and or geographic areas with high concentrations of ethnic populations. The second task is to conduct outreach to campaign to payroll companies that have clients working in the city of LA to provide information about the city's minimum wage compliance and sick benefits requirements and make sure that they have the correct understanding of the minimum wage ordinance. We are in the process of evaluating the submitted proposals and selecting the consultants who will be conducting the outreach campaign. This concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Ms. Madatian. Commissioner Davis.
Yes, I just wanted to compliment you in terms of your progress that the Bureau is making in helping us to implement, obviously, the information that we need to get out to the public on one hand, and then on the other hand, internally really organizing around this issue on wages. And I think that City of Los Angeles has really been a leader. I see that the state legislature has followed suit, but it's just good to know and refreshing to know that we led the way. So you and the Bureau of Contract Administration are doing the work, and we appreciate the progress that we have made thus far, and I look forward to future reports in terms of our implementation as we move forward for this change.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
I will echo Commissioner Davis's remarks that the minimum wage increase is such a significant policy change that really has the potential, not the potential, but it will impact the lives of over 600,000 Los Angeles residents directly. So it is wonderful that we here at Public Works are helping make sure that it gets, the information gets out there, and that people who are deserving of a wage increase actually are getting it, and that folks know how to comply. So thank you so much for your work on this. Anything further? Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you. Yvette, thank you. It's so important that that we're educating in language and reaching out to diverse communities. We understand that there's going to be, as you said, a high probability of non-compliance in specific geographic areas and specific communities. So it's almost like a public health model. The more we're able to do preventative and education and prevention, the less we have to do in enforcement and in non-compliance, which is really what we don't want to do. We want everybody to comply because that's the mayor's plan. So just want to encourage us to continue working with our contractors and to stress the fact that diverse outreach in language in diverse communities. So thank you.
Thank you. I just want to let you know, we have a very diverse group within BCA. We have people that speak many different languages and are able to help the workers that call in or communicate information to the businesses.
Thank you, Ms. Madatian.
Thank you so much.
That concludes the oral reports on the status of consultant contracts. Is there a motion to receive these reports? Moved by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. The item is approved. Mr. Executive Officer, have we cleared the desk?
Ms. Vice President, this takes you back to the public comments. I could have missed it, but I believe we can close the item. No speaker cards were submitted for that.
I did close public comment right before I took Neighborhood Council commentary.
Thank you. That does clear the desk.
Thank you. The Board of Public Works meeting for August 31st, 2016 is now closed, concluded. Gavel. Where's my gavel?
Adjourned.
everyone.
Thank you.